The rain began to pour just as I stepped off the bus. I pulled my hood tighter around my face, but it did little to shield me from the deluge. My sneakers squelched with every step as I made my way down the muddy path. My heart pounded in my chest, not from exertion, but from the sheer urgency of my mission. I had to reach her. Today was the day I would finally tell her how I felt. It all started months ago, in the warmth of a coffee shop. I'd seen her every morning, her nose buried in a book, a faint smile playing on her lips. We exchanged glances, then words, and soon enough, our conversations became the highlight of my day. Her name was Lily, and she had a way of making the world feel a little less daunting, a little more magical. But today was different. Today, she was leaving. Her family was moving across the country, and this morning, coffee would be our last. I couldn't let her leave without knowing how I felt, without taking the chance that maybe, just maybe, she felt the same. I quickened my pace, my mind racing through every possible scenario. What if she didn't feel the same? What if I was too late? The doubts gnawed at me, but I pushed them aside. This was my only chance, and I couldn't afford to waste it. As I reached the end of the path, I saw the train station in the distance. The sight of it filled me with a renewed sense of determination. I checked my watch. I had less than 10 minutes before her train was scheduled to leave. My breath came in ragged gasps as I broke into a run, the rain blurring my vision. The station was bustling with activity, a stark contrast to the quiet solitude of the path I'd just left. I scanned the crowd, my eyes desperately searching for her familiar face. I pushed my way through the throng of people, my heart sinking with every passing second. And then I saw her, standing by the platform, her suitcase by her side. She looked so serene, so composed, and for a moment I hesitated. But the thought of her leaving without knowing the truth propelled me forward. "Lily," I called out, my voice barely audible over the noise of the station. She turned, her eyes widening in surprise as she saw me. I hurried to her side, my heart pounding in my chest. "Jake, what are you doing here?" she asked, her voice laced with confusion. "I couldn't let you leave without telling you." I began, my words tumbling out in a rush. "Lily, I love you. I've loved you from the moment I saw you, and I can't imagine my life without you in it." She stared at me, her eyes filling with tears. For a moment, I thought I'd said the wrong thing, that I'd made a terrible mistake. But then she smiled, a soft, bittersweet smile that broke my heart. "Oh, Jake," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I love you too. I always have." My heart soared, but the sound of the train whistle brought me back to reality. I glanced at the clock. There was no time left. The doors were closing and she had to go. "I have to go," she said, her voice choked with emotion. "I know," I replied, my own heart breaking with every word. "But at least now we know." She nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks. "I'll never forget you, Jake. And I'll never forget you, Lily." She stepped onto the train, and I watched as it pulled away, taking her with it. I stood there, soaked to the bone, my heart aching with a mixture of joy and sorrow. I hadn't reached her in time to change her plans, but I had reached her heart. And in that moment, I knew that our love would endure, no matter the distance. As the train disappeared into the distance, I turned and walked away, a small smile playing on my lips. I had gone to great lengths to reach her, and though I hadn't stopped her from leaving, I had accomplished what I set out to do. I had told her how I felt, and in that, I found a sense of peace. Love, after all, is not always about the destination. Sometimes it's about the journey and the moments that make it worthwhile. And our journey, though bittersweet, was a testament to the love we share.